that we have seen mass disenfranchisement, mass disqualification of this number of people. There is no doubt why the MDC is being treated in a different manner from other political parties. It is because the MDC took ZEC to court over delimitation. The delimitation that we fought against is now in force, and its effects are now clear on this election. ZEC, right now as we are speaking, is busy changing boundaries of electoral constituencies. It has added, I think, more than 1,000 more polling stations, because the delimitation report was itself by nature it was invalid. Having seriously considered this, and being a patriotic Zimbabwean, I love my country. I took part in the crafting of the constitution of our land. I believe that the constitution is not there for the decoration. I believe that there is a minimum standard of integrity required in our electoral system. And I believe that the mass disenfranchisement of our people, the discrimination of one party in a country by the Election Management Board, the Electoral Act, with the concurrence of my party, have withdrawn my candidature in this election. We are boycotting this farce. We are boycotting this shame. We are boycotting this presidential election. We come to this conclusion after serious consideration. We come to this conclusion after looking at our founding values. Our aim as the MDC is to take over governmental power through peaceful, democratic, and constitutional means, govern differently and change the lives of the Zimbabwean people for the better. We are left with only 24 constituency candidates. Even if our presidential candidate were to win, he will be a one-week president, because he will not be controlling parliament. He will not be controlling the majority in parliament. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the decision of myself as the presidential candidate, and the decision of the National Council of the party sitting yesterday. And the Zimbabwe Election Commission was advised of my decision, and we expect it to act in accordance with the law. And the law says that they have to gazette this withdrawal, and I have specifically asked them that they should not include my name on the ballot paper. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The president will require polling agents in 11,000 polling stations. The president will require a sizable number of parliament to form a government. I was in this election not for the fun of it. I was in this election not for the adventure. I wanted to form a government. And if that is impossible, if that has been made impossible by the Election Management Board, by the political system of this country, then we cannot continue. It's no greater cost than the enfranchisement of my people to me. 20,000 is nothing compared to the rights of the Zimbabwean people to vote for whoever they want. It is nothing compared to the mass disenfranchisement that has happened in 87 constituencies. The MDC was the only party that wanted to enable even the poor people to contest, and that is why we were paying for our candidates. We had a record number of women candidates, youth candidates, and their participation has been made impossible because of systemic and systematic collusion against the MDC. Their cases have been decided on technicalities. And I want to say at this point in time, the judiciary in this country, starting from the Constitutional Court, has messed up the electoral jurisprudence of our land. Nowhere in the world are election matters, constitutional matters, decided on mere technicalities. Constitutional matters, election matters are decided on substance. And because every time our substance has been strong, every time our cases have been unassailable, the judges have treated our cases on technicalities, refusing to hear us, and we refuse to be part of that facade. You say things which are strange to us. As you can see, I am still the president of the Movement for Democratic Change. As you can see, I am seated here in the Harvest House, flanked by my top officials. My national chairman is here, my secretary general is here, my deputy secretary general is here, organizing secretary is here. The two vice presidents, Pariwa and Jovu, are not in Harare because they are at work. So we are firmly under control. We have the party firmly under control. The National Council yesterday said to decide one issue, and that was the issue of the advisability of the continued participation in this presidential election in the face of this unfairness. And the National Council ruled that it cannot stand for all these shenanigans that are being done by the state, by Zanu PF, and by Z. And the National Council made a principled decision. This decision is not against its president. This decision is against unfairness and impunity in our election system. The National Council said to me, President, you are a constitution maker. Protect this constitution. Defend the constitution of Zimbabwe. Defend the right of the people of Zimbabwe to choose their leaders. And the defense starts now. On this issue, the MDC family is united. It is its distractors who want to destabilize it. First of all, I want to answer your question about incompetence. My administration is not incompetent. The fact that we fought against delimitation when everybody else was not fighting does not denote incompetence on our part. The fact that we were discriminated against and we sought justice and we couldn't find it is not our fault. It's not incompetence at all. For your information, sir, we are the only party that has launched its manifesto, and the manifesto is well written and well thought out. That is not incompetence, sir. And sir, can I dare say that this is not the first time that the MDC has pulled out of an election as a result of unfairness. In 2008, our late president pulled out of the presidential runoff election as a result of the bloodbath that was taking place in this country. As a result of the unfairness against the MDC, he was not allowed to campaign at all. Similarly, I am not allowed to fill the candidates of my candidates in this election. People are denied justice, and the situation is similar, and we have pulled out, we have boycotted this election because the people are not protected, the vote is not protected, and that is no mark for incompetence. And the other thing, of course, is what people who are our detractors always say. They talk about abuse of funds in the MDC. Well, the MDC has a constitution, and it is the only opposition political party with a constitution anyway. It is a constitution which tells us how finances are handled in this party. In the MDC, under the MDC system, the president does not have financial functions. He does not disburse money. He does not deal with finance. And I find this question, Chegetai, sorry, I know you are asking on behalf of others. I find it very insulting. Mr. Mwonzora has been a lawyer for more than 30 years. And I've been a lawyer, not a bad one for that matter. And as a lawyer, we are paid for our services. And I make a living out of that. I have been a senator, a leader of the opposition. These are remunerated positions. And therefore, there is no need of pilfering the party coffers. However, should anything of that sort happen, the MDC members would have taken me to the police. The MDC members would have dealt with me. There is nothing like that. The intention of people who spread this false information is to generate a bad name between MDC and its potential donors. And that is the only thing that is there. So there is nothing like that, Chegetai. And my leaders are here in testimony that that is not the case. And I want to say that the MDC is going to the drawing board. We have taken one step backwards in order to take 2 steps forward. This is an intelligent decision. This is a decision that has been well thought out. And we are going back to the drawing board. And one day, this party is going to form a government in this country. I don't want to preempt what we are going to do henceforth, but let me just give you a few things. We are going back to the drawing board. We are going back to kickstart a program that will make sure that there will be free and fair elections in this country. Will we succeed in 2028 in doing that? Well, at this point in time, I would like to copy a Chinese saga, fight 100 battles and win 100 victories. In that regard, victory is certain. We are going to reconnect with the people. The people of Zimbabwe deserve and demand free and fair elections. The people of Zimbabwe deserve and demand a fair election management body. The people of Zimbabwe demand and deserve a fair judiciary. And the people of Zimbabwe abhor selective application of the law. And when there is selective application of the law against us, we must react, and we have reacted. We are not going to be part of the baptism. We are not going to be part of blessing of this shame. This election is a farce. Now, say, the English term that I used was that we are boycotting the presidential election. When you are boycotting the presidential election, you have no one to beg. You are boycotting. You are refusing to participate. And therefore, the question you are asking on who are you going to beg instead? Why should we beg someone to participate in a fast? Why should we beg someone to participate in a theft against the people of Zimbabwe? Why should we beg someone to participate in political crime? Because this is crime against the people. Now, am I going to vote? And am I going to vote in the in the elections that we have not boycotted. Yes, I am going to vote, and I'm speaking for myself. And what am I going to vote for? I am going to vote for opposition. I've always voted for opposition. I've always been opposition. I've never joined Zanu PM. At the young age, I opposed the one-party state. I opposed dictatorship and totalitarianism. The situation has not changed, and therefore my stance has not changed. It is up to individual political parties to continue in the election. The MDC has made its choice. It's up to other political parties. We don't want to spoil their game. We don't want to steal their thunder. It's up to them. We think that it is foolish to continue, and we have moved out of the fold.
So,
media, okay, the last question.
That's just a clarification. From Zimbabwe. The president just said he will vote for opposition, so that we do not make mistakes. Probably could clarify which opposition.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
You look very excited.
No, I do not make
I
mistakes.
can see your elation and exhilaration. It's natural. You are a young man, and young people are prone to excitement. My polling station is Nyautare Primary School in Nyanga. The candidates that are there are Jeffrey Chetanga, who is contesting for Ward 8 councillor. I am going to vote for him. The other candidate who is running for MP for Nyanga North is Douglas Mwonzora. I am going to vote for him. Both candidates are MDC. I am going to vote MDC. And I am going to vote opposition.
Then the president.